Question 11. Joseph invested this much for 2 years, compound interest, so 4% after the first year, 4% after the second. You can do it manually. Preferably I prefer the formula. You need to know this formula for other possible types of question you may be asked on compound interest. So you put your original value in. Your decimal multiplier is 1.04 because it's 4% added on every year, and then you put it to the power of the number of years, which is 2 in this case. So it's 1,700 times 0.4 squared, which then gives us our answer of £1,838.72. Question 12, straight line graphs. We've got to connect the graphs up to the line equations. So the first thing I would always do is look at your y-intercepts. So it's this value here, and so on. So are there any that stick out to be separate on their own? Well, there's some -2 ones and there's some 2 ones, so that's not going to help you at the moment. What we can then do is start working out the gradients of these graphs. So this is a -2 move, and it's then going 4 across. That'll cancel down to -0.5. This is actually a positive move and a positive move, so it's 4 and 2. So it's 2 because it's the y move divided by 4, which is just a half. This one is 1 and then 2 downwards, so that'd be a -2 there. That's -2 divided by 1, which is -2 overall. This is 4 across and -2 down. So your downward movement is first, so it's -2 over 4, gives you -0.5. This one is your 1 and then 2, so it's 1 over 2, which gives you 2. And then your final one is 2 and 1, so it's 1 over 2, 1 over 2 at all, 2 over 1, sorry. So 2 over 1, and that gives you 2 as well. So these bottom two graphs first of all are 2x graphs because they've got the gradient of 2 there. So we'll look at this graph here and this graph here. Now this one goes through at 2, so it's a +2. So graph E will go in there, and then we've also got a -2 here, so graph F will go into that point. We're then looking at, let's start with this one here and this one here. These two are both the same as -halves. Now this one goes at 2 and this one goes through at -2. So we're looking for -1/2 plus 2. So -1/2 plus 2, so that will be A. And -1/2 minus 2 will be D. We then have a half x, so that's a very separate one on its own. So B is the first one. And then we've got C, which is this one because it's -2. And then -2 down here. So BFA, CED. Question 13. Table gives information on students at school. Going to sample 60 students. Back into using blank there. It's going to say, well, stratified sample, work out the total number in 9, 10 and 11. Pretty should have in a sample, you show you're working. Right. So, year 9, well there's 244 in year 9, and that's divided by the total, times by the sample size. And you repeat the same method for each one of them. So, nothing different on each one. Total number of in year 9 divided by the total, and times it by 60. So 244 divided by 720, or 740, sorry, and then times that by 60. So the first answer is 19.7. Second one, I'm not doing anything with them yet, but we'll do in a minute, is 25.5. And the final one is 14.6. So if we round these up, because you need whole people, that'd be 20, that'd be 26, and that'd be 15. And at that point you go, okay then, well if we add these values together, then what are we actually going to get? Well, it's more than 60. So what did you do? We actually round down then the one that you would round down, which is the least likely, sorry, the most likely to be rounded, which is this one here. So that would actually be 25. It's a tough question that, because it's asking you to actually add up the values as well in the sample. But he's going to use a random sample to select the students. Explain what is meant by random sample. So really all for that is that each outcome has an equal chance of being selected. Whereas you stratified, you decide that you're going to select a certain people based on groups. Describe how she could take a random sample of these people. Well, you just put all names in a hat. And draw 60 tickets. That's fine, there's an answer there. You can do like random number generators and all sorts of other stuff as well, but that to me is the easiest.